What's up, everybody? It's your girl Erica from the Classy Climb blog. We've been sick. We've been at the beaches of North Carolina. We've been traveling. We've been all over the place. We got a cold. Half the house, the beach house, was 23 bedrooms. Two of the four floors got sick. So that's how that went at the end of the week. So, yes, my hair is braided. You guys don't usually see that way. I've got a little messy bun going on and some of the braids here and there. It is what it is. So, hey, I say happy holidays, but Merry Christmas to those who celebrate. And I want to do this late night show because next week's packed, right? We have guests coming on. I think we have 6 or 7 guests coming on next week. So drop your city and state in the chat. We've got somebody who has a cleaning business, pallet flipping business, flipping medical supplies. We got, you name it, they're coming in and they're going to be out. So you guys are definitely going to want to check out next week's show. So let's hop on to this week's topic. You see the topic again: millennial home buying real estate versus struggle bus millennials. There's been this kind of discrepancy in the marketing. Oh, millennials aren't getting married. Millennials aren't buying houses. Millennials living with their mom and dad. Millennials are doing this. First, let's stop all the cap. Let's stop all the cap. Because you girls got the numbers, all right? So again, 1 in 3 men, 19 to 34, live at home with their parents. Winter's coming. 1 in 5 women live at home with their parents. Why is that? The moms and daughters don't get along at a certain age. And also, women are more likely than men to live in group housing. Okay. And that just is what it is. So y'all got to let that go. Now, here's the problem with the data you're hearing. They're not really, because millennials go from age 23 to 39, actually 40 this year. You are not getting the right data. Right? So you have a bunch of 21 to 27-year-olds who aren't getting married and living at home with mom and dad and living in vans and not getting jobs and quitting their jobs. So people are like, oh, see, look at the millennials. When actually the biggest, most successful group that is buying right now and getting married and having kids is later age millennials. Again, 31 to 39-ish. Because listen, let's do the math. The data on housing has always been people when they hit 35 to 55 are the biggest groups of real estate buyers, multifamily buyers. That's your biggest ages. What happens at 35 to 55? Real life starts to happen, right? You're getting older, you have kids, you get married, you got responsibilities. You actually start having to take care of some of those parents. And that's what people don't talk about. Is those older adults you got to start taking care of. So this is a video. You can check it out on your own free time. And y'all know I'm going to bring the data. I'm going to hit you with about 1, 2, 3, 4, about 10 articles. I hope you're ready. Okay, hope you're ready. 6 million people are facing evictions and foreclosures. Let me tell you what's going to happen. We talked about it in previous videos. You're going to have a segment of these folks go, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to move out to the country. I'm going to move an hour away. I'm going to go back to my old hometown, but a town near it, right? I'm going to move to Charlotte or Raleigh. I'm going to move, I'm going to relocate to the Southeast. I'm going to take a lower paying job for less stress. What they're truly saying to you is, listen, this eviction's coming. It's about to kick my butt. I got to go while the going is good and while my credit is still there to go. Now, I was listening to 2 men the other day on a show, and I kind of was laughing because they were like, yeah, some of these dudes sound like they're going to be 40, 50-year-old losers. But what was their definition of a loser? And really what they were describing is a failure to launch and not get relationships, healthy relationships with women by the time they're 40 to 50. Now, I'm not a big believer in saying, oh, this person's a loser because this person's only a loser if they wanted to get married, they wanted to have kids, they wanted to buy a house, and they didn't accomplish it. Right? Somebody whose ultimate goal was to have a chill job and smoke weed and lay out all day. And that's what they did for the past 10, 15 years. They ain't losers. That's their lifestyle. Okay. That's just is what it is. Now, but here's the thing. In 6 states and 31 cities, they tracked over 658,000 evictions since March 2020 and 8,000 evictions in the last week. Now, you can check out the Epic Economist. He's pretty dark. But what's going to happen is a lot of these red states ain't playing this. You're going to get out. Now, here we go. I want to start breaking down these articles because a lot of people keep giving y'all this fake data that they researched, and they really ain't researched it because if you really see the numbers, it breaks down into 2 segments. That 21 to 20, that 23, I apologize, 23 to 28 years old, chilling. But by the time they look at the data, that person between 31 to 33, by the time you look at most of the millennials and you actually, the divorce numbers, oh, it's 50% divorce, it's 50. These people sound like idiots. They're quoting bad data. They've already broken this down for the past 10 years and said, hey, that 50% thing was an article and it was marketing and it was a lie. The data shows if you're first time getting married, 28 to 32 years old, you have a 9% divorce rate. On record, on history, it doesn't really exist. Why? Because those people have chosen later in life. They're a little bit older, buying those first homes, having those first kids, later, older. So when all these people are panicking about millennials, what they're doing is they look back and say, oh, wait, millennials 32 to 37 are actually getting married and buying homes. Right? So I'm calling this we're going to come back later generation, really, is what we should be calling millennials. So here's some of the articles. Here's Forbes. How millennials are changing the mortgage and home buying market. Again, millennials are ending their leases, moving out and buying homes in larger numbers. In fact, they make up the fastest growing segment of buyers, particularly, let's pay attention here, those in their late 20s to early 30s. They too old to go back home with their mama. They done had a bunch of roommates. They done house hacked. They like, oh my gosh, let's go. Now pay attention. Millennials are having an impact on the market, not just buyers. A Zillow study found that about half of all buyers under the age of 36 and half the sellers are under 41. So that means what? That millennials got into their first house, they're ready to get to their second house, their bigger house, they modern farm ranch house, or they're moving. And again, careers, higher income, paying off student loan debt, etc., etc. That person that's first getting in, they just glad to get in, right? So again, y'all hearing all this negative talk, oh, millennials. And the data is telling you half the sellers are under 41. Half the buyers are under age 36. So who's buying the homes? It's millennials. These millennials you hear so much about, that these people are fear-mongering you on because they have the wrong data. All right. Millennials are changing the home buying process. Okay. Due to the Great Recession, yada, yada. 52% of adults age 18 to 34 are living with their parents. Now immediately stop the cap. Stop the cap. Stop the cap. Let's break it down. I just told you 1 in 3 men 19 to 34 live at home with their mom. That's almost 33% of men, right? Live at home with their mama and daddy. Less than 1 in 5 women, that same age group, live at home. Why? Because they out here, if they got 4 girlfriends, they moving in the house together, right? That's why these neighborhoods are popping up and building these homes that they rent in the suburbs, because people are like, I'm tired of living in apartments. Girl, me too. They gonna go Golden Girls up in that mug. That's why when people keep giving you these stories about winter's coming, haha, girl, yeah, winter. The people aren't really reading the data. Only 2 million Black babies are born a year. And out of the 2 million, 70% are born out of wedlock. See, dum-dums can't do real good stats, and that's okay. I'm not knocking them. I just want y'all to be educated, and I don't want y'all out in the street sounding crazy, reading off wrong stats. They'll look crazy. Okay, don't do that. Oh, thank you so much. Red sings the blues. Yes, we'll look forward to that. We sure will. There you go. There you go. I appreciate it. What's up? Listen, this is very common. A lot of builders are struggling to finish and close. They're struggling to finish and close. Thank you, Cece. Thank you. Thank you, guys. I'm just, changing the hair up, getting a little rest on the hair. Okay, so let me go ahead and finish. Again, thank you for that. Let me go ahead and go here and finish. Okay, so that number already is capped. All right, so let's go ahead and say that. The delay in home buying could also be due to the lady starting families. Duh, if you're a single guy, why are you going to want a whole house to yourself? Depends on where you live, right? It don't make sense. If you're a single girl, why? Right? Unless you want to live with your dogs and your mom and dad getting all your numbers, okay? So again, you can look at the numbers. Millennials love options. They all over the internet. Shopping, looking all over the place. Online mortgages are the norm, right? When people say, well, Ericka, I really want to buy a rental. What should I do? I keep telling you the same answer. First, let's go get you pre-approved. Second, let's pull the parameters of what you're looking for, because you can be looking all over the place. But if your pre-approval says this, let's go ahead and stop the cap. and get real honed in on what we need to be looking for, right? So that's why so many people are like, oh, I haven't gotten a pre-approval yet. I haven't gotten it, because you really don't want to face the real numbers of what you can afford. But that's a whole nother conversation. The internet say I'm too sassy. It is what it is, right? Millennials are choosing the suburbs over the city. Why? People can't afford it, right? Studies show 47% of millennials live in the suburbs as opposed to urban and rural areas. The preference is for bigger, more updated houses. Again, more people working from home. We've shown the patience in buying and leapfrogging the starter home. So you already see it. And this is some of the frustration on the internet and in these spaces that you see. Many of these women already in their 30s. The men already in their 30s. They both got student loan debt. They both ain't making a lot of money. And the first things out the gate is they don't want to start a home. They don't want a little, hey, baby, we got a 2-bedroom apartment in Chicago, right? Hey, what's up, Derek Milleen? Email our office. And so, well, thank you so much. Thank you. And so what happens is these people are like, hey, I want to get to the biggest home. I want to go straight to it. Let's go. Right. And that's what's kind of happening. And again, next one, that's Forbes. You guys can check it out on your own. Millennials are buying more homes ahead in mortgage applications. These are all recent articles. Now, something I wanted to really pull out that people aren't really hearing. Again, millennials, this is more data. American Apartment Association. Okay, even they tracking. Why is the apartment association tracking? Because you forward your mail from your apartment. You tell your apartment why you're leaving, where you're leaving to, and also you get referrals. Again, these people is bouncing. Large numbers of millennials are coming to the market, and this is the National Association of Realtors finds an age of a vacation home buyer dropped to age 43 as compared to age 61. Why is that? I'm gonna tell you what I think it is. A lot of boomers just financially ain't in the space where they need to be. They stuck working in the city. They stuck helping a millennial child pay college. They ain't got that money like that. They ain't got it. The last time we were talking about this, yep, this is true. Last time we were talking about this, I was telling y'all we were in North Carolina, and my nephew was like, we should totally buy a beach house. This kid's 14. I'm like, yeah. This is what our family should be doing next. We spend every year going to a beach house. We should actually invest and own one. So all year long it rents out, and we reserve our 1 week. If it is just 2 of us or just 3 of us, let's figure out how we can get this done, right? So again, the age of the vacation home is changing because guess what? Even though we were there and it was off season, there are plenty of families in the different houses. So older boomers, certain people that have been kind of brought up on this lifestyle of I take a vacation every year anyway, regardless of what's going on, they're still going to do that. But now they might just be renting it from a younger person. Okay. So again, this person talks about they were activated in the U.S. Air Force, and her civilian job from FBI intel analyst. The couple moved out of their cabin and rented the property for lists, right? Alaska natives boast a 94% occupancy rate, right? Again, people, when they get sent to Alaska, I already told y'all that. We lived in Alaska for 6 years as a child. Again, vacation home sales boomed in 2014, above where they boomed in 2006, okay? You can see all this stuff in here. I mean, again, most of the time people buy vacation rental, and you can look it up. A lot of people call it luxury lifestyle living. What is luxury lifestyle living? Instead of people saying, oh, I got an Airbnb, I got they literally buy a vacation home. And same way I'm going to do at the beach, at my future beach home, on the off season or on the weeks that it's empty, I'll be there vacationing at it. I'll make sure I reserve my days, right? That's how we do it. And so they call it luxury lifestyle living because they buy them in the places they want. Again, why are so many millennials buying vacation homes? All right, you can check this out. Rent potential, price appreciation, vacation getaway, retire in style. What you're going to learn about retirement is they study it a lot, and people say, oh, I'm going to retire at 55. I'm going to retire early. On average, if you retire at 55, you'll die at 65. Retire at 65, you die at 75. It's very common, and I think it's because our bodies are meant to keep moving, keep producing, keep doing things. And so even now my mom is starting a business because she needs to be productive. She needs to be active. The military said, yeah, medical retired, yes, but she still needs to be doing things keep her mind and body active and sharp. All my family members do, right? So why so many millennials are buying vacation homes while still renting where they live, right? You'll see people living in Atlanta and then like the granite countertops, 600 square foot apartment. I'm in the middle of everything because they can't really buy a home in the downtown Atlanta like that. But they can rent, right? So they always going down to Miami. Let's get the Airbnb in Miami. Let's get the Airbnb somewhere else. Some of these people are going, I'm going to actually buy Park City, Utah, Denver, Colorado. Again, these places, and let's be honest, it talks about in the article, think about it, Manhattan, San Francisco, you're buying $1 million houses. You don't have to do that with vacation rental if it's far away enough, right? Again, I remember at the when the crash happened, Myrtle Beach had condos going for $10,000. Usually it was elderly people who owned them and they stayed down there or they lived down there. Now those same condos are $150,000. Now again, that was at the peak of the crash in 2008, but I remember it being like 10,000. Y'all, let's buy one of these. But everybody was like, no, no, the crash. I'm like, it can't crash more than $10,000. So again, these are also just talking about these vacation rentals, taxes, etc., etc. Millennials are fueling the housing market. Will it continue? So listen, you have all these articles and stories. Oh, millennials are struggling. They're living at home with their mom and dad. They're da 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 da. What you're seeing, right? What you're seeing is a combination of the failure to launch group, the van life folks, the the temporary apartment living folks. And what I'm seeing, honestly, is even in where I'm at, my luxury apartment, there's two types of people that move into this apartment and the apartment right next to me. They're waiting on their house to be finished built, and this is the breakaway point. This is just the easiest access to it. Or two, they're short term living here. Right? I've seen this one apartment every 3-4 months. People get in, get out, get in, get out. And anytime you speak to them, oh yeah, I'm getting ready to move back here, or I'm only living here for 4 months, or I'm doing this. That's a part of their lifestyle. So when we say, oh man, these millennials they're all over the place. They're moving around. They're transient. There's a batch of millennials who are still in that category. They are going to live in vans. They're going to do the car life thing. But look at what happens anytime you watch on YouTube. Anytime these guys get a relationship and just enough money to get an apartment, that's what they do. So again, Mark said, I saw some in Orlando. Owner can stay. Yes, that's kind of like that, John. It depends on, as long as it's not a timeshare. A lot of times what I mean is actually purchased and it's managed by a company. So that's what I mean. But yeah, American homes for rent, building. Yep, this is happening a lot of places, especially here in Texas. Austin, there was a big uproar when they bought like 1,500 home neighborhood South Austin. And I said they bought that because so many people are getting displaced from South Austin, right? Which, let's go there. They're getting displaced, quotation marks, from South Austin. But hey, you can rent this house and stay in South Austin. And that's where they're getting them, right? They can't afford to stay here financially and buy a home. But a lot of people, instead of thinking of a way, okay, how can I buy a home? They'll just rent those homes for years because, well, I'm from South Austin. Okay. And you'll never own over here. If that's what you want, that's fine. So again, millennials are purchasing houses. Finally, over the past year, millennials made up the largest share of home buyers, 37%, according to Barron's. And that trend is set to continue. Okay. Currently, adults aged 26 to 41, millennials. Again, every article has a skew on it, but it's still solidly 23 to 40. But yes, right at the edge of 41. Okay. Make up 22% of the U.S. total population. So like 1 in 5 people are millennial, right? 22%. That's almost 1 in 4, honestly. But 22% is a solid 1 in 5, a little bit, almost 1 in 4 of the population. Okay, so you have these people, and I'm gonna go there. I'm gonna add it in there, but give me a second. The pandemic motivated the sizable group to buy homes. The number of houses owned by adults between ages 30 and 44 years old has increased by 1.3 million since the pandemic. Why is that, y'all? People were smashed up in these apartments and they were like, I'm going crazy. I'm about to punch my wife. I'm about to hit these kids. I got to get up out of here. This dog is barking. They literally have articles up here, y'all. where millennials are literally telling the surveyor, I bought it for my dog so we could have more space in the backyard. Literally, these people are answering these questions like this. It's crazy. So, information released by National Association of Realtors revealed that married couples aged 31 to 40, nobody's getting married. Nope, that's not true. Age 31 to 40 were more likely than any other age group to purchase a home during that time. The largest group of single people who purchased homes were younger millennials, 22 to 30. Now, I'm going to tell you, it cited remote work as the core reason. I'm going to tell you, these people, they get on trends. They're like, oh, I can house hack. I'm a house hack, right? So now they're talking about house hacking when that's nothing new. And now they own this house and they're like, my friends are renting from me. I'm house hacking, right? Or they read a couple articles. They're like, how can I fastly retire? And that's, part of it. So again, during the second quarter of 2021, the beginning price for homes purchased by millennials was $304,000. Okay, so everybody's like, millennials are broke. Well, they out here buying $300,000 and $400,000 houses. Oh, but they have student loan debt. They're buying $300,000 houses. It is what it is. It says they're going for cheaper starter homes, but they're buying $300,000 houses. So you be the judge. You be the judge. And again, you can check all this stuff. These are great articles. This is Chicago Agent Magazine. Why is this important? Because Chicago is it's a unique place. They're doing a lot of marketing to try to pull people back into Chicago. The housing is so cheap in some parts that you can buy in Chicago. But come on now. You know what's going on in Chicago in some parts. It's the pew 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 out there in Chicago. Okay, so again, boomers squashing millennials in Austin home buying battles. Who are the boomers? Let's just go there. When I moved to Austin, this guy said, why do you want to live there? There's old white men out there. And I was like, what? And I just thought it was the craziest thing. But here's the thing. Elbowed out by Americans 60 years or older, young people are making up a smaller share of people buying in Austin. Baby boomers are more likely to be homeowners who can use money from the sale of a current home or a previous home, aka a home in California, aka a home in New York, aka a home in Ohio, and do what? Come down to Austin. So the medium age of home buyer in Austin was somebody who was 40 years old in 2019, which is rare because it was 38 years before. Of those 2019 buyers, 17% were 60 years old or older, up from 13% in 2009. Half the buyers in 2019 were 18 to 39 years old, okay, compared to 1% of that age group in 2009. So what does that tell you? Still, even though all this drama in Austin, half the buyers were still 18 to 39. And I'm going to tell you right now, if they were 18, 20 years old, there are several young people here in Austin who go to UT, and I'm doing quotation marks, who parents own businesses or do something in New York or China, and they buy their child a home, and then that child rents those rooms out. You can go on 51st Street of Austin to see this. You can go on 50th Street, 45th, some of 45th, not too much. You can go on Infield and see this. You can go on several streets near Austin, downtown, where there are young people who own the homes. You can go see this. This is not a shock. So again, real estate agents say that all cash offers, which are common for repeat buyers, are the leading winning strategy. The average homeowner age in Austin, Texas, 47.6 years old. The average renter, 31.3 years old. The average age of the general population, 36. This is why I make a joke about, if you come to Austin, there's a ton of 30-something-year-old people who are in tech. They move here sometimes without a job, and everybody's wanting to paddleboard and be chill out and cool, and so you have a lot of California folks who come to that. Nothing wrong with you being a boomer, want to come hang out in that environment too, right? So that's something I see, right? And again, that's what's happening in Austin. The boomers are kicking our butts. All right. So again, here you go. This is the accent. This is a Monty full service. And again, full disclaimer. You guys know I have a membership option to join members only kind of contents coming soon, or will be sometimes members only chat. You guys can join that for $2.99 a month. Your choice. There's a lot of levels to it. You get some freebie stuff, but long and story short, we'll have some secret content. But Motley Fool is also one of our affiliates now, so just small disclaimer to the audience who is watching me tonight, right? Let me see. Oh, you guys are in here chatting it. Let's go. You know the routines. Get the likes up. I'm telling you, it's a late night. I usually don't do them this late, but again, that's just where I am. Excuse me, y'all. I apologize. B. Williams, those numbers are actually lies too, but we'll go show it. And I'm waiting for this kind of dust over to kind of get over. The have and have not group of millennials is real. Some millennials are wealthy, while others are refusing to pay their student loans. I actually know a actual chiropractor that was like, "No, I'm not paying these loans." And I'm like, "You make all this money a year? Nope, not paying them. Nope. I want them to be forgiven." So there's some of this is a mental thing. I'm hearing a lot of people say, "Well, what about they need to pay a living wage?" And then you ask them what's a living wage, they can never describe it. Right? It's always a movie number. I'm like, so cooks at Chili should make 100,000 a year. Janitors at Chili should make 100,000 a year. Everybody should make six figures, huh? So it's the conversation gets real stupid when we talk about a living wage. And I've actually had guests come on and say that, and I'd had to like just stop myself because I want to be like, now I don't play that crap. Like living wage, what's that? It's what you decide to do with your life. So yeah, there again, that 1 in 3, not every one of those men living at home and the 1 in 3, 19 to 34 years old is a failure to launch, but they're a part of a conversation piece that we have to have. So boomers boomers should have money. Keyword. Some boomers aren't, they don't have money, right? Some of these people are some of the boomers are coming from California and they're like, this is a fresh start. I can really live in a cheaper thing, right? Hey, no, yeah, listen, we'll have some good members only content coming. Thank you. Yeah, so we have 150 affiliates, and you guys will start seeing more ads, unfortunately, but that is what it is. They ever talk about the B Station X? Only Bloomers, Millennials, and now Gen C. Yeah. See, that's the thing. Gen X always gets left out of this conversation. And, here's the thing. If you really want me to go there, Gen X is John, you should see it. It should be in the chat. It should be able to let you click the link to join the membership. If not, let me know. It should show up in the next video. Gen X, if I do a whole show on Gen X, I'd probably get removed off YouTube because they literally poll as the most unhappy group of folks ever. But you have to think about where they're at in the space. They're 40 to like 55 or something like that right now, or 52. And they basically are the age group that has teenagers and young kids, some of them, right? That let's go there, right? In our community, the sassy I don't need no man, she's in her 40s and now she like, well, whatever, I got a dog, right? You got the men who are also in that sassy I don't need no woman 40 to 50, like they're an unhappy group. It's just is what it is. Now I see a lot of thriving, beautiful 40-something-year-old women and men on different platforms who are happy, but in general, the numbers and the records pretty much show Gen X is like got screwed, right? So now they're taking care of their parents, and they're taking care of their kids who are kind of boomerang kids. And so Gen X did not really get a great kickoff. Also, Gen X was also the grunge movement folks, right? The Nirvana folks, the late 90s rap folks, right? So it's a weird age group compilation. Gen X is something that we will study in the future. Gen X kind of falls under the category of like how the silent generation, right? You had the greatest generation, and my grandma was the silent generation. So she was born like right squeeze door after that, right? So it was kind of like right after the Great Depression and the start of good times, the roaring 20s, before it got bad again. And so it's like that silent generation got squeezed in between there. And there really isn't that sign out. The greatest generation were in the wars and fighting, and the silent generation were their younger siblings who just didn't get the shine. So that's kind of what is going on with Gen X. Yeah, I'm glad. I hope it's helpful. I just had been feeling better, and I just wanted to kick it off because there's really no time in the next week. It's really stacked. We have somebody coming on talking about cleaning businesses. We have someone coming on talking about flipping pallets, flipping medical supplies. I'm doing a show talking about Philadelphia. I have guests coming on from Philly. I have a lot of guests coming through to finish out the year. And then also we have the launch of several of our products. We have planners, we have a budget planner, we have a business building planner. There's several things launching, and so it's a busy next week. So I wanted to kind of get this one over, even though it's late, because I think it's important. Thank you, John. You're always supporting. I really appreciate it. Watching you my last morning here in Dubai. Listen, I am glad Dubai has loved you so well. Yeah, B. Williams. Yeah, there's Generation X is getting just hammered, right? I would say your most notable Gen X for YouTube is Kevin Samuels and a lot of the Black women in that space, right? They're in a not happy space. They just aren't. If you kind of review, not even just the videos, just a lot of like on parenting, mothering, the whole I can do everything. No, I'm every woman. Whitney Houston, I'm every woman. Like, no, millennial women are like, nah, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna quit this job. I'm gone, right? I'm gonna live in a cheap little town so I can stay home with my kids more. Millennial women just aren't following that kind of I'm gonna do everything. Yeah, I'm a boss lady. That's a lot of 40-something-year-old ladies, and it's not like a disrespectful thing at all. It's just you see the big boss chick movement with people who are like 21 to 25 and then 40 to something. Right after they get over 25, girls are like, "Girl, bye. I'm going home. Right? I'm going to the house. I'm gonna go make sandwiches. I'm gonna go cook for my children." You know what I'm saying? Congrats. Welcome, Grandma Codes, as a new member. Thank you for joining. Minimum wage gigs are meant to be a step in the career, not either entire career. Exactly. Living wage seems to be a big career term. Oh, I'm still sick, y'all. Sorry. A buzz term. Here's the crazy thing. The crazy thing is, Graham Stephan was saying you're going to start hearing people say the word landlord, and it'd be like this terrible thing. And it's coming from the have-nots, and it's coming from the millennials who are failing to launch. There's a really great thing he talks about in this interview, and I'll post it. And the great thing it says is, what is your next thing you do? 5 minutes, right? If you say, hey, I want to have a family, what's the next thing you can do in the next 5 minutes? Well, maybe I can make a dating profile. Okay, what's the next thing you do after that? Well, I can go buy me some clothes. What's the next thing you do? I can cut my hair. What's the next thing I do? I can go on a date, right? It's really this what's happening even here on YouTube. You can see it in the podcast. Instead of this constant talking in circles about relationships and kids, okay, what are you doing next? What's the solutions, right? Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell, I remember they went off in a video because people said, what's the solution then? Y'all been talking about this for 4 or 5 years now. What's the solution? Again, on this channel, Classy Climb, I'm always going to provide you solutions. I'm going to provide you alternatives. I'm going to be like, hey, y'all can do this. You could do that. That's your choices, right? One of the big things for me was like, hey, listen, I want to learn Spanish and swim. Okay, the next 90 days, I have swim lessons, I have Spanish lessons. Some of those Spanish lessons are in Mexico. Some of them are here in Austin. You have to put time limits on things. What's my next best thing? So again, when it comes to these millennials buying houses, okay, well, Ericka, I want to buy rentals and I want to retire. Okay, when you want to do that? Oh, I don't know. No. What's the next best answer? I'm going to go check my credit. Great. What are you going to do after that? I'm going to go on one of these online brokers and get pre-approved. Next, what are you going to do after that? My pre-approval is going to tell me the amount of house I can buy. Okay, what are you going to do next? I'm going to go find a great realtor who can help me find houses in this price point. Great. Boom. Boom and done, right? Same thing with these relationship channels. What's the next thing? Okay, I'm going to go out every Friday and meet and ask somebody for their number. Great. Boom. What's your next thing? Well, in order to go out every Friday, I need to have my shirt pressed and ready to go out. Okay, great. What's the next best thing? I hung my shirt up. Okay, whatever, let's keep it simple. What's the next best thing for your conversation? So when people keep telling me, oh, I've been at this job forever. Okay, what's the next best thing that you need to do in the next 5 minutes? I need to go on Indeed.com. Great. What are you going to do on Indeed.com? I'm going to upload my resume. Okay, what you going to do after you upload the resume? I'm going to put in there what I'm looking for. Great. What are you going to be doing the next month? Checking on jobs, talking to recruiters, and seeing what I can get. If I don't like what I can get, guess what? I need to do what? Call Tamika. Call Women in Linux. Go join their study group, right? There's no reason that you're talking to people and they're having these same conversations for 5 years. There's no reason. It's really the choice, right? You'll meet people who are like, well, I always wish I went to Hawaii. I always wish I got married. I always wanted to have some kids, girl. I always well, what happened? Well, I ain't never find no man. You ain't never there won't no man walking anywhere near you in the past 20, 30 years. Like some stuff you be looking at people like, come on now. Some of this don't sound right. It ain't adding up. The math ain't mathing. Okay. So again, this isn't to beat anybody up. This is just to dispel some of these facts they're hearing out on the internet constantly. Millennials are suffering. They're suffering. Everybody's living at home. And it's like, stop that. That's not true. The math doesn't back it. The math ain't backing what you're saying. All right. So again, the join button is next to subscribe button. Thank you so much. That's true. That's where it's at. Hell, I'm a Gen X and I'm happy. Tam, that's why you come on the show. Yo, dog, I got a dog. There you go. Gen X has always done their own thing, very rebellious. This is true. Lots of articles on it. Gen X is 40 to 56, technically 41 to 56 this year because of the millennials hitting that 40-year-old mark. But you are absolutely right. 40 to 56. So again, think about people 40 to 56. This is very, like every article you read is not very good. And a lot of the readers are not great. But what it says is usually those people have teenagers. They have teenagers and a sick parent, right? So that's kind of the combination. They have teenagers that are being jerks. They've got kids that are older, going to adulthood, but not fully adults yet. That kind of combination. See, look, Cece, I'm just telling you. I'm just telling you, in jobs and workplaces, people always say blame the boomers, but it's not always the boomers. I hate that they always just blame the boomers for everything because I'm like, Gen X is 40 to 56. You see a lot of those folks at work. What are you talking about? There you go. Gen X were latchkey kids. They were. You correct. They were that their moms had the shoulder pads. She works hard for the money. Yeah, the shoulder pad moms. That's what they had. Maybe that might be what it is. That's the thing, Bree. They don't. But when they do, the articles are terrible. But it's like the silent generation kind of thing. Thank you, I appreciate it. All right, listen, congratulations, Grandma Cold. You're a part YouTube member, Classy Climber. What's up? Terry Electrician said, I'm glad would be not mentioned at all. Yasa said, yep, I'm not every woman. Thank you. We learn not to try to have it all, or at least not all at once. Yeah, you can have, I hate this thing, but I have to say it. You can have everything, just not all at the same time, right? What a lot of studies show that women who take a break, health wise and mental health wise, are better, and then when they come back into the workforce in their 40s and 50s are actually more happy. And I think that's because their kids are grown and they ain't got to worry about them at that point. They're like, God, thank God they out my home. You know what I mean? And even now, like I had a family member who's 22 and I was talking about her getting married and people were like, oh, that's too young. And I'm like, y'all don't make me get Kevin Samuels on y'all tonight. That's not too young. Yeah. Shaka Khan. I'm every woman. It's all in me. I hope this information is good. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. I'm trying to lighten it up because I'm about to finish it out. Identify next steps. Yes, you really do. Congrats, Terry, man. You out there in the game. What's a good online lender? There's several. I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say it because I have to say it. I'm working with a black broker. I just said bump it, and I went straight to a black broker, and I said, "Look here, Kareem Baldwin, hook me up, okay?" And he's in the no mortgage, but there's a lot of great ones for your city and state. I just don't want to lead anybody wrong because I don't have a list. That's right, TJ Jackson, man, you got that resume. Listen, you can call Tamara, you can call Tyrone. I know. And people are basically getting a lot of views on all this complaining. There you go. Listen, Mocha Mama, you know what I'm saying is true. My mom is Gen X. She just turned 55. She is doing well, very independent, and a boss chick. My mom's on the tail end of the boomer. Like she's like the lad, like she's squeezed by from Gen X too, she's a boomer. So, but even she's like in the army. I'm every woman, and then she got married, and most of it's like, mom, chill out. Oh, you were? Well, hey, that's good. I'm glad that it's kind of curved with for you. Girl, there's so many 80s songs I want to sing. I have to calm down. I love the 80s. Like, I had a brother who was 8 years older, and I have an immense love for the 80s, just from cookouts to barbecues, the 1990s. Um, I would go crazy. I would throw. If anybody's been to the boat party, you heard what I want to play on there. Thank you, Carla K, for being a YouTube member. What's up? And it highlights you guys on here when I see, like, when you comment afterwards, it has you highlighted. So it's pretty cool. I like it. I had my first child 21 or 22, so not too young to get married. So glad you have memberships. Yeah, I was going to do a thing where some of my chats are just members only talking to kind of get some of the riff out of here and different things like that. What's a builder that takes VA loans other than D.A. Horton in Dallas? Grinch, Tim Jackson's a great guest, but he is actually retired now. So I would be the first person I would ask. But I'm not certain. Asher, do you have a real estate agent representing you? There you go. Kareem was great. He was very helpful. Didn't waste time. Hope Marshall should be Indeed recruiters be like, I want you. I need you. Need you to come on through. Thank you, Jerry Ely, for the $5 super chat. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at, you guys. And so that's what I had for you. But I just wanted you guys to like get through the noise of like millennials are suffering and they're not getting married and they're having a hard time. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Yeah, Tim Jackson retired, man. He still gives great information on real estate. The Dallas market is just so insane. He just ended up going, yeah, I'm good. He has so much money to retire in rental properties. He's good. So again, millennials account for 37% of home buyers, 37%, and over 50% of new mortgages, y'all. Check this information out. It's out here, man. A lot of people keep fighting me on it. 42% of millennials were home buyers at age 30, compared to 48% of Gen X and 54% of baby boomers. Again, you guys are older. Almost half of older millennials are buying homes worth $300,000 or more. Millennials are responsible for 53% of new home mortgages in April of 2020. 42, where's the next one? 18% of millennials expect to always rent. That's up from 11%. Again, that's our generation of, I call them, they're going to start later. Or they think they're going to start later, right? You got a lot of people saying, well, I'm going to travel and backpack Europe and I'm going to go live in the van life and I'm going to do all this stuff. And then, okay, well, now I'm glad they do it, honestly, because they got that out their system, right? We got a lot of people always talking about they want to travel and they never do. I'm glad they got out of their system and now they can go do something else. 63% of millennials have no savings for a home down payment. And here's the thing, there's over 5,000 programs out there. And there's a ton of programs like NAC and other things that you don't need no down payment. That's the part people don't understand. So I want to get past some of that noise. So again, I don't like how they're doing this right here. I don't like it, but it works for the argument. Like younger millennials are not 1990, 1998. Older millennials, 1919, they messed the numbers up right here. 1980 to 1989. Gen X, 1956 to 1979, which would be my brother. Younger baby boomers. Older baby boomers. My mom was a younger baby boomer here. Older baby boomers, and then silent generation. I think one of my aunts is that old. I have like literally one aunt who is 70 something, and my youngest aunt is 50. So grandma was like going. That's why people are like, oh, y'all can't have no babies after 35. I'm like, I don't know what y'all grandmas was doing, but I have family members who was born after grandma turned 40. Like, I don't know what vegetables y'all eating. That's just what I'm gonna tell you. You need to eat more vegetables, kids, and you too have a geriatric pregnancy. Yes, there you go. That's spot on. Spot on. Spot on. Gen Z wants to be, to me, that's what I'm seeing. That 40 to 50, it's like forever, but yeah, I'm just playing out here. Yeah, whatever, girl. And it's like, good luck. How do what you want. Sade is the best. They really were. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you, Terry the electrician. You became a YouTube member. Thank you, Tam. That's kind of funny. Let me see what else y'all got going real quick. I'm a millennial, don't own property but crypto, no struggle bus here. Actually, better off the millennial. It depends, DT crypto. This is my argument on that. People always have these net worth arguments, but that's just the point. Net worth isn't like, hey, I just bought it today, I'm worth this. No, it's like 5-10 years from now. 5-10 years from now, we look back and your net worth is increased because you purchased this hard asset. And I think Sunday I have it scheduled. If my voice is still good like it is now, I'll do the hyperinflation Sunday video. But like literally, I even list crypto in the hyperinflation video of things to fight a hedge against hyperinflation, because people are like, oh, you can't fight it. And I'm like, but you can, right? All the time when you look into these other places, there's things to fight, and it's called assets. So, I'm gonna have to go look it up, I guess. Let me see. The broker is Kareem Baldwin, but Kareem can only do certain type of ones for Texas. But double check with him, Kareem Baldwin. So yeah, calculate your net worth, but it's not one of those things like, oh, I just bought a house and now I'm doing this. Nah, like a lot of these people, buying a house was just a cheaper alternative for them. So that's really what it is, and I don't want people to get lost in that. So, but I just had to do this video because I kind of got tired of hearing these like millennials are suffering and they aren't dating and they aren't doing. I'm like, stop it. You're talking about Gen X. Aaron Claire is Gen X, for example. There's several Gen Xers on YouTube that prove my point, and it's like, all right, dude, whatever, right? Like, we're gonna get in where we fit in. So, hey, congratulations! Look, D Brown breaking the stereotypes. I'm completely debt free. I don't owe nobody. Get it, D Brown. So I hope you guys will enjoy. Again, next week, chock full of guests, chock full of great visiting speakers. We'll also even have some classes next week. I think Rise of 20% will have a class, and Digital Real Estate has a makeup course. So that's what we got, right? Ty Lopez came out with a coin. Of course he did. That's just, he just in there. People are prone to resist change. The ones that need it the most resisted the most. This is just facts. Every day on twice on Sunday. So, anyways, you guys, we got a little change here, change up with the hair. You guys will see different ponytails probably. And I hope you enjoy it. Thank you guys for being here tonight. Thank you for supporting the channel. Happy Christmas. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to you all. Thank you for supporting the channel. I know it's late and there's 238 people here. Make sure before you leave, hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that. Later, you guys.